real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Let's go ahead and move into voter ID, because that kind of goes hand in hand. Make sure you like the damn stream, by the way. All right, here we go. Here we go. So this is fun. This will be a fun. I think this is a very popular video, or it's a classic video.
I'm Ami Horowitz.
Yeah,
and I'm here.
This is a very classic video. If you've never seen this is fantastic. And it's basically it's kind of it's centered around young white kids, because white kids are always, look, it's just how the nature is. It's young white kids that grow up in upper middle class, especially, you know, in all white areas. They have a lot of guilt for some reason. I don't have the perspective. I grew up in a damn trailer park. I don't get it. Okay. But maybe they do. And they always feel like they have to like grovel and protect those that they see lesser. Right. You cannot believe these things about people unless you think they are lesser. You'll never convince me of that. If you actually think people, because what they look like, are dumb and don't know how to use computers and don't have cars because of what they look like, that is not a me problem. It just is not, you know?
Berkeley, California, to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, an ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Nacho Cheese was able to read between the lines. Isn't that wild? Nacho Cheese got it. Nacho Cheese is the only person that got it. Only person that got it. It's not about that. It's politicians and ad campaigns. Politicians, ad campaigns. To call something racist to immediately get liberals to dissuade from it. Because the most fearsome thing that a liberal has to go through is being called racist or a bigot of some kind. Shame is the most powerful tool in leftism, in any society on earth. Shame is the most powerful tool, right? And it works on the right as well, but it works devastatingly on the left, because you can accidentally say a thing that might be misconstrued and your fucking career is over on the left. On the right, you can be like, I don't give a fuck. And then you kind of get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Shame. People will say anything to avoid getting shamed by their peers. Right. All right. Let's finish this video so I can stop talking. I'm like Nick. I'm just ranting.
Yeah. Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem getting there if you have to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
Unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process was.
I just think that's ignorant.
Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I hear
Very
a lot.
ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, but you're judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, "Can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are?" Are you
Love showing my ID.
You have no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, "Can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are?" Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
You cool with that?
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty obvious. Now, one could argue that that's anecdotal people. Maybe they picked and choose the right people. But the arguments never change. Like, it doesn't really matter who's saying it. The argument will always be poor, dumb. And I don't like that. It doesn't sit right with me. Now, look, maybe I'm just a white guy. I don't know. But I don't see people as different. I just don't. I don't have that filter, and it may be because I'm dumb. I don't know, but I never look at people unless I talk to somebody and get to know somebody. I never have looked at somebody and they looked at me, and I was like, "Wow, that guy's dumb and uneducated and poor." I've never had that feeling in my life. I only feel that way if I get to know somebody and they're dumb and poor. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a person in front of me and I've judged if they were probably poor or uneducated. Because you have to say this. If your argument is that they are generally more in poverty and generally more uneducated, then you have to also agree that when you see a black guy walking by, you assume subconsciously they're poor and uneducated. And I don't see people like that. I do not see a person of a different color and assume they're poor and uneducated. I just can't do that. It's not in my system. I just don't get it. Don't get it. And maybe it's because, now look, this is completely anecdotal, but I grew up in the hood area. Like one of my boys growing up, who went through a really crazy health scare recently, blacker than midnight. You know what I'm saying? And all we did was play Crash Bandicoot Racing, and we were just bros, and everything was normal. I don't know. He wasn't uneducated. He was way more educated than me. He went to college and shit. And my other buddy, Chris, this is basically I have black friends anecdotal thing, right? So I feel like it. Now, look, obviously not everybody agrees, but I feel like upper middle class white people that don't grow up around people of color, they think this way because they've never been around them. They just assume that whatever they saw on TV is the truth. Right?